Am I the asshole for telling my kid's babysitter that it was inappropriate of her to shower in my home? I hired a babysitter for my 5 and 3-year-old kids 2 weeks ago. My husband works shifts while I work long hours at a marketing company. So far we've had no issues till yesterday. I came home at 6 p.m. and noticed the babysitter's wet hair and new clothes. She told me she took a shower after one of the kids spilled milk on her. I was confused but visibly upset, but she tried to reassure me the kids were fine, because my husband watched them while she took her shower, which only lasted for few minutes. I was more confused that my husband was home when he had a shift to cover. I told her I didn't think it was appropriate of her to shower in my home like that. She argued that it was fine and that she had no choice and couldn't leave the milk on her like that. We argued and my husband heard the commotion and got involved. He said it was not as big of a deal as I was making it out to be, but I told the babysitter that I did not appreciate how she basically ignored how I felt about this and dismissed my feelings still. She went home, but we still argued on the phone. She thinks she's done nothing wrong and said I was being unfair when I mentioned potentially cutting from her salary after that. My husband keeps saying that I'm overreacting and the poor girl couldn't handle having milk stains on her body and clothes. But I couldn't help feel it was inappropriate and she should have checked with me. Am I the asshole for my reaction? Just for info, I'm the one who pays her, not my husband. I told her to call or text, always available, if anything happens. I didn't even know my husband was home at the time. If you noticed, I said that I argued with her even before she told me my husband was home. And no, I didn't know how big the stain was, but she argued about being covered in milk for 6+ hours. As for the question of why my husband didn't go to work, he said he was feeling a bit sick and swapped shifts with a coworker. The babysitter is 24. She said she has experience and yes, she normally brings a bag of clothes, wet wipes and stuff like that with her. You hired a babysitter. Your husband was at home when he was supposed to be working. Babysitter went to clean up. I'm seeing a potentially bigger problem here. Original poster. This is the whole reason original poster is upset. But she's only willing to take it out on a presumably younger girl and not talk to her actual husband. Lame. Edit younger woman. I wrote girl with knowing the sitter's age. You know how sometimes no matter how much you discuss it, you know you aren't ever going to agree? That's what Op should tell her husband. I hear you. This is not acceptable to me. And that's not going to change. Thank you for addressing the matter with me privately. Hell, leave the babysitter alone. Not enough information. How long has your husband been having sex with the babysitter? I laughed too hard at this. You were visibly upset that she cleaned up after your kid spilled milk on her? Also, what in the fresh hell is this statement? I mentioned potentially cutting from her salary after that. You'll be lucky if she ever comes back, and if she does, count your lucky stars, apologize profusely and check in with yourself on why this made you so irrationally angry. My guess is, you don't trust your husband. You are the asshole. Bingo, and jealousy was her name. Oh. I don't understand why you're more concerned about her taking a shower than the fact that your husband was home with her when he was supposed to be working. If he didn't end up working, why did he keep her there? Even if everything was fine and she just needed a shower after having milk spilled on her, who cares? You sound unhinged for being upset about this. You are the asshole. Okay, editing, since original poster added in that her husband was home sick from work. Totally understandable why the nanny was still there if the husband was sick. I still say you are the asshole. The husband allowed the nanny to shower there for whatever reason. Original poster's gripe should be with her husband, not the nanny. I think she has an issue because her husband was home when the babysitter decided to shower. I feel like original poster would have been okay if it was just the kids there. I mean, if she had showered when it was just her and the kids, they would have been left unattended, unsupervised. So you think she's upset she didn't just leave and shower when she got home? The whole situation sounds weird to me. For insecure person who goes through 100 scenarios of what the babysitter was doing with the husband, it's weird. For the rest of us it's equals she got covered in milk, and instead of letting the milk cook up in her clothes and body till she gets home, she asked for permission to use the shower since she had extra pair of clothes with her so she doesn't need to walk around public covered in slowly stenching milk. Not enough information. Is this really about milk? If you're insecure about your husband's loyalty, just say that. Why exactly should she have called and asked for your permission, when clearly your husband had already given her permission to take a shower? Someone taking a shower is one of those decisions where both of your opinions need to be thoroughly thought through. Anyways, you are literally creating drama out of nothing. You are the asshole and you have no legitimate reason to cut anything off of her salary. She's cutting her salary so she doesn't have to be the one to fire her. She'll quit herself because she won't be able to pay her bills. I hope they have a legitimate contract and the babysitter takes further actions if original poster decides to cut her salary. You are the asshole. Someone got dirty at your home. Waiting would have made the situation worse. Your husband okayed her using your shower. Any other issue you have is related to your husband unexpectedly being home when the babysitter was there. Right. This all screams, I don't trust my husband and that's the babysitter's fault. Are you really just concerned about a quick shower and some spilt milk? Or do you feel there may be something else that's up and you don't want to acknowledge it? Original poster is scared her husband is cheating and is taking it out on the babysitter. Original poster didn't know her husband is at home. They need better communication. That's kind of weird to have your babysitter tear and not know your husband is at a home. Do you trust your husband, original poster? I mean, on one hand, if I came home early and my wife was still gone, and the babysitter asked right away as soon as I walked in the door if she could jump in the shower, I'd probably say yay whatever because I really don't give a fuck. But on the other hand, I'd probably just tell her she's good to leave as soon as I got there. And how old is she even? Can she walk home? Can she drive? Was she waiting for a ride from friends or parents? Was she going right home, or was she going out to a party or dinner or a job interview? Which would explain the change of clothes and need to wash up quickly. I dunno, could be anything. But I still feel like OP isn't focusing on and communicating how she actually feels. I don't think it's unreasonable to not want to go home dirty, even if it is straight home. Especially milk all over you and your clothes. Babysitter could take public transit, Uber, not want it all over their own car, not want to walk home in it. But I think you're right, most wouldn't, or at least emo, shouldn't give a shit. Let someone clean up. You are the asshole. You watch too much babysitter porn. That or Reddit does going by the bloody responses on here. If her story is correct, then you are the asshole. She shouldn't have to be wet and stinky and uncomfortable when there is an immediate and obvious way to correct that. Your husband being home is the issue here, and you know that, so take it up with him and not the sitter. Dad's home but feels like shit and just wants to take a nap. He's happy to watch the kids for 5 minutes while the babysitter takes a shower, but would prefer her to stay until mom gets home because then he can nap. Unfortunately, mom is nuts. You are the asshole and #X200B. Her other employer, your husband, agreed to her doing it. So she did nothing wrong, and you are the asshole. And #X200B. She thinks she's done nothing wrong and said I was being unfair when I mentioned potentially cutting from her salary after that. If you cut from her salary, you are a thief, and she should sue you. I kind of want to see original poster type an invoice for the 35 cents the warm water a single shower set her back. Info. Why was she babysitting if your husband was home? Also, is he cheating? Original poster did say husband wasn't feeling well. Maybe husband thought he could rest and get well, if the sitter stays and watches kids. Maybe sitter was counting on this job because money is tight and husband thought she can stay and he can do his own thing. All kinds of possibilities. Yeah, there's a lot of people assuming the husband is cheating, but I'd love to have a babysitter and a day off at the same time. It's perfectly possible that's the case. And original poster is you are the asshole because showering after you got milk spilled on you is a completely normal and acceptable thing to do. You are the asshole. She's not casually stepping into the shower. Your kid spilled crap all over her and since she was able with your husband's permission, she took action to clean herself. You are not overreacting, you are being completely unreasonable. Overreacting implies you are right in principle, and you are not. You are the asshole. You don't trust your husband and us taking it out on your babysitter. Wow. You are the asshole. She's not making a regular habit of showering in your house. She was cleaning off because your kid spilled milk on her and that stuff starts to stink if you don't clean it up. Further, your husband was okay with it and your kids are old enough to be left alone for a few minutes while someone rinses down in the shower, or watched by their dad. Edit. Why does she need to check with you when she had the okay from your husband? Why would you have more authority than your husband over the house, kids? Either fire her or don't, but what on earth is this cutting her salary business? Question mark. Yep, this is the part that makes original poster ta to me, too. Don't deduct her salary to make up for your insecurities, original poster. You are the asshole. Milk smells very sour fast, not to mention as sticky on the skin as it leaves a film. The children weren't alone as your husband was there. I don't see why you're so upset about this. There is nothing inappropriate about showering. For all you know, she has somewhere she needs to be after she's finished working for you and she didn't want her hair and clothes smelling like rancid milk. Plus she has cleared it with your husband. In actuality, it's clear you have issues with your husband, but you didn't want to position the story like that. You mentioned that you didn't know he was home twice. Go post in our relationship advice and stop being disingenuous. Whilst you're at it, ask your husband why he didn't dismiss the sitter if he was gonna be home, and suggest that he reimburse you for a wasted day since you're so concerned about the sitter's salary. You are the asshole. Edit my first award. Thank you. You are the asshole. You're suspicious about your husband and taking it out on a babysitter. Why should she check with you when your husband said it was okay? She should quit. Are you really crying over spilled milk, or is there a deeper issue here? On the surface, there was nothing wrong with what the babysitter did. Depending on the volume of milk that was spilled, it makes perfect sense for her to hop in an available shower for a quick cleanup. Your husband lying to you about being home when he was supposed to be at work should be the bigger issue. I'm going with you are the asshole, cause either you're in denial of what's actually going on or you're reading too much into an innocent act. Either way, you're taking out your frustration on the wrong person. This screams insecurity on Op's part and that she suspects her husband of cheating with the babysitter, but that's just my opinion. You've mentioned cutting from Hay's salary because of the shower. Do you feel like it was inappropriate because she used your household resource to clean herself, or because showering in your home is not part of the job description? Either way, you are the asshole. Would you let a guest who's in your house shower in your home after they got covered in milk because of your kids? If the answer is yes, apply the same respect to the babysitter. If the answer is no, go to a friend's house, spill milk over yourself, and see how long it takes you to ask if you can use their shower for a quick second. Not enough information. Can you actually explain the reason you're upset? I need some context to understand why showering is a problem. I need something besides, showering is inappropriate. What makes it inappropriate? 'Cause her husband is home, she thinks he's cheating and is confronting the sitter instead. Kinda looks that way. I'm curious why she won't answer that question and didn't say in her post what she thought was so wrong about it. You are the asshole. You expected her to be covered with milk until you got home? And I'm sure if she did that, this post would be complaining about how the babysitter trashed their place and got milk everywhere.